You have now made it through all the steps of creating an interactive performance. To recap, you have selected repertoire, picked an entry point, crafted the line of inquiry, drafted an outline, you've identified your listening examples and come up with the listening activities to accompany them, making sure to scaffold the challenge of the activity throughout the show and to vary the learning styles of each activity. You are now ready to script, rehearse, and perform your interactive performance. We've included text on our website with a suggested order and flow for your interactive performance with timings for each section. Let's take a look at an example IP script. Here is the script from Dakota's interactive performance exploring musical roots that they performed for students at PS 200 Benson School in Brooklyn. You can find a link to this full interactive performance video on our website. At the top, you can see the repertoire listed, including the specific sections for each place they will play. The entry point for this IP is musical roots, and their line of inquiry is, how do a composer's musical roots influence their music? They note that their audience for this is 4th and 5th grade students. Their show starts with a short performance, followed by musician and instrument introductions that are all relevant to the show's line of inquiry. They have 3 listening activities that precede a selection of music. Their activities each appeal to different learning styles and scaffold and challenge for the audience. They explore melody in Wang Ro's Girl from Debon City. They ask the audience to learn and perform the melody and have a volunteer from the audience follow the melody with a scarf as it travels through the instruments in the group. They explore dance in Bela Bartok's folk dances and have the audience add their own physical movements to represent the music that they hear. And they create an original soundscape using suggestions from the audience of sounds they hear in New York City and adapt those to their instruments. As a way of deepening the listening experience of Valerie Coleman's landscape portrayal in her piece Red Clay in Mississippi Delta. To close, they've included a recap of the performance, tied the line of inquiry into an action that the audience can take when they leave, and left time for questions and answers, which is a great way to end every interactive performance. You'll notice that they've indicated in their script who is speaking when, and highlighted when they will be playing and when someone will be writing on the board. And I appreciate that they've taken care to make sure that each musician is participating equally. In Ensemble Connect, interactive performances in schools tend to span the length of one class period, so roughly 45 minutes. And like the IP you just saw, we generally hold interactive performances in auditoriums or a large ensemble room. We ask that younger audiences be grouped closely in age, for example, 2nd and 3rd graders together in one show, and 4th and 5th graders together in another. To help with audience interaction, we ask that audiences be limited to 150 students, and when possible, we have our musicians set up on the floor of an auditorium in front of the seats, rather than on the stage. Once you've scripted your interactive performance, it's important to rehearse it from start to finish. And don't forget to rehearse microphone choreography. We find that it can be helpful to use a pen or a pencil to practice. Try to practice to the point where you know your script well enough that you can be off the page and respond in the moment to the audience and your colleagues. Unexpected things can sometimes happen. Maybe a fire drill or a classroom is running late. We find that it's helpful to have a contingency plan already marked in the script, so sections predetermined to cut if you have to suddenly adapt your program for less time. Now you're ready to perform. You can find some of our universal interactive performance tips on the next video.